This is a movie about child trafficking. And when I think of child trafficking, I think of, like black markets, underground kind of stuff with like really shady people in shady rooms. But that's not the case here. It's child trafficking, but they're like nice about it. They're like, good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Um, Lovely weather we're having today. Do you want to buy a baby? All right, that line wasn't actually in the movie, but it's a foreign language movie, completely subtitled, and the only reason I know about it is because of this guy here. He plays the father. This guy, he plays the father in Parasite, which is a great movie. Another great movie from South Korea. And side note, like South Korea is just killing it lately. They did Parasite a couple years back. They got this one. Squid Game's really good. And there's also another show on Netflix that I haven't seen that is apparently about like zombies that's supposedly really good too. So Broker starts out with this young lady here. She is giving up her baby and she's putting it in what is called a baby bin. I don't know if this is common in South Korea, but it's basically if you know Goodwill bins like these here, it's kind of like this except for babies. So it's this room, and inside the room is this bin, and it says baby bin on it. So she goes in, takes the baby, and leaves it in there. And there's like a crib, and there's nursery music going in this little bin. So she leaves the baby, and comes back the next day, and has changed her mind. She decides that she doesn't want to abandon the baby. But these two guys have taken it, and they are trying to sell it on the quote unquote black market. So after that, she finds out how much they're trying to get for it, and it is I think $10 million. Well, not dollars. It hold on. Okay, so they're trying to sell it at one point for 10 million, which would be I guess $8,000. Okay, well that's not much for a baby, but they're they decide that they're going to split the money if she lets them sell the baby, and she's going to act as as the mother, and then they're going to act like a family around the kid as well. So it goes up to as much as I think 40 million won, which would be about 130. Oh no, hold on, 32,000. So somewhere between 8,000 and 30,000 U.S. dollars would get you a baby, I guess, according to this movie, in South Korea. So she finds out how much money that they can get if they split it, and decides to join them in the adventure of child trafficking. So there's a lot of drama, especially between the younger lady and the younger guy here. He really resents her for abandoning the baby, even if it was just like for a night and changing her mind. And then there's really interesting morality argument over if you're just going to abandon the baby, why do you even have it in the first place? But she didn't want to have an abortion. Like she didn't want, she wanted to have the baby but didn't want to raise it, but then kind of changed her mind on that. There's just a lot of interesting moral gray areas, I guess, and I'm not here to take a stand on either one of them. That was some drama with the father of the baby. I'm trying not to give away too much here. Oh, and there's also police investigating. They're trying to arrest these two for obviously for selling babies. So that's part of it too. Along with the moral argument, there's a bit of a legal argument there. So they're running from authorities who are also trying to set them up. There's one point where they have some prospective parents, and it was police that had set them up, that had sent the parents in with like wires to try to catch them selling a baby. So there's a whole side story here with the police trying to nab the child traffickers. And this little kid, he lives at an orphanage that they frequent with these kids that don't get sold. They take them to these orphanages. This is one of the younger kids, and he ends up getting in the van while they're at the orphanage, and he ends up with them the entire trip. And this is actually where they find the kid, and he reveals himself that he's been hiding on this trip while they're trying to sell the baby. So there's a lot of driving, and you see a lot of the land, which is something I hadn't seen like this here with the that's a lot of windmills. You see a lot of the area of South Korea. So it's good. I give it a 3 out of 5. It's definitely worth giving it a watch. I don't know if it's you need to go out of your way to see it, but if it shows up on a streaming service or something like that, it's definitely worth a watch. I would say it's not as good as Parasite or Squid Game. So out of the three of those, and I haven't seen that zombie one. So out of those three, I'd say it's probably third. It's nothing like those two, but they're all South Korean, and that's all I can really judge it on. I'm not a expert on South Korean cinema, again I do like it. So thanks for checking that out. And there's some other videos you can watch in this that show up in the recommendations if you'd like. And okay, thanks.